brothers decide to change the game. This year, see the podcast that everyone's calling amazing, Blacker Than Black.
To the artist for artists.
To artist for artists.
This is the Artist for Artists podcast.
I call these people family and friends, and they're really just coming off the strength. I told Mel and asked Mel if she'll be a part of this podcast like last week.
I was like,
I just hit her up to just talk to her and make
I
sure she
live in
was
Flatbush,
okay.
so hey, right here.
I was like, what? She was like, I was like, I got a podcast going on. I was like, well, let me know. I said, well, what are you doing next week?
We ready.
She was like, oh, okay, I'm here. So just
Send me your address.
thank you again. But I do want to touch on a few more things because I know I have you here. So I want to ask these two questions here. With going back to Mariah.
Yeah.
Give me two of your best moments.
Let's see. To me, is a studio moment. Kelly Cherie and I in the studio. We had just recorded "Anytime You Need a Friend," her song, and her ex, her manager, her producer were all in the room. And she's like, "Oh, I just did a scratch vocal. I want you guys to hear it," because we had just finished laying down the background vocals, and we were all in the booth at the same time. We all sang it together, and she played the song. And the song was over. Kelly and Cherie throwing papers, just like, "Oh my God, round of applause!" I stopped and I looked at her. I said, "If you change anything about this solo, I quit." She was like, "Are you?" I'm dead serious. You change anything about this vocal, I quit right now. I was like, "Woman, you sang the paint off of this song."
Yeah.
And she went in and she really fixed a couple of things. I was like, don't you touch that. That thing is a classic. That was one amazing moment.
Yeah.
Another one. Shoot. There are a few of them.
I know.
You had a good
I know, and I hate when people do that to me. But I had that.
Just being able to travel around the world.
Yeah.
I've seen 6 of the 7 continents. Got paid to do it.
Amazing.
That's incredible in and all of itself.
And a lot of people can't say it.
Yeah.
A lot of people can't say
I've
it.
been on every continent except Antarctica.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
We had a little side trip we couldn't tell anybody about because it was a government thing. We had to go. We did a side trip to Kosovo to go sing to the troops. They got AK-47 strapped to their chest, and they were ready to hear somebody sing to them. It was like, and I became the MC for the gig. I was like, what the heck? How the heck did I get here?
Everybody put your guns in the air.
Oh, wait, no.
We didn't mean that.
Right. And it was crazy because we landed at the airport. The country's security, the country's army was in the airport. They were the security for the airport, so they all got guns strapped to them. They put us in the Hummers. That the front Hummer in front of us had the gun mount on it. The one behind us had the gun mount on it. We in the car in the middle, like, where?
Right.
What the ham sandwich is happening here? So just like things like that, flying private from. Let's see, we flew from Japan to Alaska, Alaska to Texas, Texas to Rio de Janeiro. I was like, how? This ain't normal.
Yeah.
This ain't regular.
It's not regular.
It's not at all.
But the amazing thing about that, Mel, is I think for today, touring is not going to become a thing anymore.
Right now, no.
In the sense of how it was, like, in the cadence that you're talking about. Like, it's just, for now, everybody's virtual. We're trying to figure other things out. Everybody's in the metaverse. Everybody's trying to figure out a way to cut this and cut that. And I feel like
it kind of like cuts us
that's
creatively.
Exactly what I was
waters
getting
it
to.
down. Kind of waters
I don't
down
think there
the
will
way.
ever be an experience. Well, it won't, because that was just a different era, period.
Definitely. Yeah.
But it won't. The touring life and experience
Yeah.
is just not the same.
Yeah, but
And
I
don't
still
think it
think
will.
that is a way to salvage, even in our local areas. Like I want to start doing a once a month open mic, where it's just live musicians, live singers, live instrumentation, so that we can get our chops. Because there's a whole generation of kids. All they do is sing in their bedroom to tracks.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
See, and that's what I was going to say too about you saying. I think the primary difference for me, because '90s, I loved it.
Me too, man. Me too.
And I remember it. So
Right.
The biggest thing was it was so much creativeness happening because it was allowed of the collaborative. Like he was
Yeah.
able to collaborate with somebody. That was what Dak and all the reels and
Right,
and all this
right.
other stuff. So you had to be there.
Yeah,
You know,
you had to be in the room.
You had to be in the
Exactly.
room.
Uh-huh.
And now with it being where it's such an out of touch thing, now everybody is so self-inclusive
Yeah,
that
yeah.
the collaborations don't really happen, and that's where the creative kind of
It kind of
simmons.
gets
Yeah,
it gets
simmered down.
kind of smudged.
So just
yeah.
hearing you say just opening up a space in
Yeah.
that way where people could just come out and
Because then we'll
you
have
know?
performers that get on stages and they look like they're not involved in the whole thing. They're not they're not engaging with the audience.
Yeah.
They're singing with a blank face on and they're like, oh, I'm here.
I just heard this dude. I was on my way here, and I was on Broadway Junction. And I was coming up the escalator, and there was this guy. He was singing, and I looked at him, and New York, we just
Right.
just passing by. I was like, if this wasn't almost COVID again, I'm have to give you a air pound.
Right.
You're killing it, brother. And I just
Right.
wanted to tell him because
Yeah.
he was killing it, but a lot of the times that's where we end up at right now because there's no
Yeah.
real space for it, or the
Yeah.
space is being given to the person with the highest money in the pot.
Right.
Stuff like
I'm still an underdog. I like what people consider the underground kind of thing. It was like, no, this is the lifeblood of creatives. The space to just come together and commune with one another. Fellowship is necessary.
Fellowship is necessary.
It really
necessary.
is.
It's necessary. And you don't really understand how much time is necessary too.
Right.
And then not only that, but how much time is pretty much like how much you should value it.
Right.
Because there's moments, and you have worked with a bunch of people. And one that stands out to me the most is when you work with Michael Jackson.
Oh yeah, that was
Right.
amazing. Oof.
But here's my thing about it. Even with Michael Jackson being amazing, that moment would never happen again.
Ever.
So it's just really, I think as I'm getting older, I'm realizing like time
Is a
even
precious
in the moments that you're
commodity.
in. Like if you're in a moment right now and it's happening
Yeah.
for whatever it is for you, like whatever that moment is,
Stop and honor that moment. Yeah.
be present,
Be in it.
because you will never get that Michael Jackson experience again.
No.
You understand what I'm saying? And
Even
to
the
even
peop-
have that on your resume.
That was nuts.
Nobody else can
Take that
ever
or say
have that on
Yeah.
their resume.
Except for the other 8 singers.
I'm talking as far as in this
Right.
room.
Hey, I seen him walk by.
But are you on the record?
Is that Michael?
And I had a few occasions. Oh, that you want another moment? Another
No,
moment.
no,
was-
that
no,
was-
no.
oh.
Another moment of
Gotcha.
something that was incredible with Mariah. We were filming. We were recording the Christmas album, the fantasy remixes at Hit Factory. The same time, Michael was locked in the Hit Factory doing History.
Yo.
Wow. What?
My girl, Natalie, Kelly, her husband at the time, Jeff, and Cherie and her husband Dupree. We're all sitting up in the lounge on the 6th floor, the big orchestra room. We were sitting in the lounge, and we heard the elevator, and we're like, the elevator's locked off. You gotta call in and tell who's coming up the elevator. And I'm like, what's going on? And then we heard the door open, and we saw somebody literally like hug the wall and go into the engineering room. And we were like, why is there a Michael Jackson impersonator walking in?
Because it can't be him.
Can't be mine.
Ain't no way.
Not today.
Ain't no
Not
way.
on Tuesday.
I was like, we all looked at each other like, that was Michael Jackson. We like, oh my God! Screaming. And we had real phones, not cell phones at that point. There were phones on the wall that we could pick up and call people. We were like, oh my God, Michael Jackson's in the room! And Mariah's like, girls, come here. He wants to meet you. We were like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know there's a dog outside screaming right now.
The dog whistle.
Like what?
She let the dog whistle.
Somebody call my
So we walked in, and he was like, "Oh, it's so nice to meet you, girls," and gave us each a hug. I was like, "Oh, the baby!" I felt like he needed a hug. It was like, oh, amazing moment. And then like on the gig when we did the special, in between dress rehearsal and stuff like that, we were he was warming up, so I decided, you know me, I'm gonna play. He was warming up, and I was doing what he was doing back to him. He started doing increasingly difficult things, and I was following and tagging him.
It kept getting harder.
And he kept getting more difficult. And then he did something, and I did something different, and he just giggled. I was like, I love this. This is great. But it's just like that communication, even though we weren't face to face. It was something that we related to with one another. Amazing moments like that. Like, I remember doing a Christmas special at the White House with the Obamas. That was Mariah doing the second Christmas album when she was pregnant with the twins. Maxwell ran up to me and grabbed my throat and hugged me. He was like, "Who are you? What is this?" I'm like, "Hi," because I was doing her sound check, so she was pretty far along at that point and really couldn't be standing and all that stuff. So it was just amazing moments like that. One of a kind.
What's interesting to me about it, and that's what's dope, because it works in our platform with Artists for Artists too, is you watch these powerhouses on TV, right?
Yeah.
You see these people who are like just at the helm of what they do. You're like, they're amazing, and you never know that there are people behind that they trust. You know?
Yeah.
And people, they looking for validation.
Yeah.
To you, to someone, to anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, because they're also fans of that, and it's just it really puts you in the mind, and that's why I'm happy that this is coming out this way, is because you get to actually say, "Yo, it really takes support in a team."
It does.
Yeah. Foundation.
I'm gonna tell you this. Just the other day, I was watching this thing on YouTube with a friend of mine, and they were describing how the Super Bowl was done. You know, like the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
With all of that stuff, and that's always
The halftime show, you mean?
Yeah, the halftime show with Dr. Dre and Snoop.
This is
and
why Adam Black's song got Emmys.
Hello, but to see the behind the scenes, like you really saw how they performed and everything like that. But to sit down and watch how it was all created,
Watch the prep of it,
the hard work that it took to get it done and everything like that, like that was more inspiring. And I think people sometimes like to take the fame of things, but Mel, you are inspiring.
Wow.
And I think that's the difference between a lot of people. It's like fame could come to anybody at any time, at any encounter. But to be inspiring to other people.
I think it's necessary for us to inspire. Iron sharpens iron. That's what the Bible says.
But the amount of years of inspiration is what I'm saying.
Longevity.
Because that comes with personality. That comes with somebody's character.
Absolutely.
That comes with somebody's lifestyle and everything of that nature.
Yeah, because this is not something that, I'm just going to jump up and do this, and you have the respect of people, or
that's what,
it's how you operate.
Yeah.
Like they would the powers that be would be upset if I got upset.
That's what I meant. Yeah, see?
I'm pissed if somebody
like I remember somebody did something and I went, and this only happened like once or twice. We were on the road doing something and somebody said something or did something, and I was like, "Excuse me? What the you talking about?" I went, Baptist came up out of me.
Baptist.
My Baptist language came out. And they were like, and the tour manager or somebody came up on stage, they were like, "Who did that?" Because she doesn't go off for no reason.
Yep.
Why? Like they came to my I was right. They came to my side of it. It was like, no. That's not her character. What did y'all do? What did y'all say?
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm
no,
sorry.
We're all getting used to it. It's fine. Trust me. It's all
punching the microphone. No, so how you carry yourself, how you do your work, how you represent yourself. You know, it really comes into major play. I would rather deal with somebody that has what people would consider a mediocre voice and has a good spirit and a great work ethic than to deal with somebody that is extremely talented and skilled and is a pain in the butt.
Yep.
They just causing issues just to get attention. It's like, if anything I've learned over these last few years is narcissism and seeing how to spot it. Man. And I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, well, confidence, is cool.
Confidence is cool.
Confidence is cool.
Arrogance.
Overconfidence,
no.
breeds fool.
See, there's a difference.
Right?
There's a difference between being confident is knowing you know what to do with what you have.
Yeah.
Arrogance is saying I'm better than anybody else, and that's not the case.
So I'm gonna redact that statement. I'm gonna say confidence is cool.
arrogance.
It breeds fools.
Huh?
Now listen.
Come on,
Now
alliteration.
listen. And I agree with that too. I agree with that too. And that can go another way too. Because even with arrogance, like I've learned, like I've met some people who I thought was arrogant, right?
Yeah.
But then there is a reason. Like even your environment just forces you to become something.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's not even about who hurt you. It's more so of how can I protect me.
Right.
And people don't know how to challenge or people don't know how to put that into pockets.
Baby, we put on that good old armadillo armor, roll up into a
And then
ball.
it's like, whoa, we ain't that deep now.
Right. Everybody calm down.
Hey, that dude, now I don't want to hurt you, or nothing like that. You know, I just want to sing my song. You know, go home. You know,
That's all I want to do.
but I will say this though, and I know we don't have that much more time, but
This
so
is gonna be fun editing.
it's gonna be crazy, and we have to bring it back because it's so many other
so
things
much
that
more.
we can touch
Yeah.
on.
Oh,
or
yeah,
whatever
100%.
That we didn't get a chance to, but I will say this, and I guess I could sum up kind of like all my other questions with this one. But being with your history, and we haven't even touched on Tyler Perry.
Right.
Ta-ta.
We haven't touched on the stage plays. We have not touched on
The open mics.
And the open mics.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you that I'm an old school head at heart, or just an old man at heart. Because I watch sitcoms and I do all of the stuff like that.
He really is an old man.
If
He is.
she would know.
I agree too.
Okay. So if anybody ever remembers the show Half and Half.
Go. I use UPN 9.
UPN 9 to
UPN
say
9.
that. Let's just go UPN 9. Jamie Foxx show. Everything else peering up like the 6:30, 7.
Oh, and by the way, you could catch Half and Half and what he's about to say on Netflix right now.
Yes, you can.
It's there.
It's there.
And you can catch Tyler Perry's play. We can't even talk about all of this yet. We got to bring you back. Part
Okay.
2.
We have
Okay.
to.
But anyway, we haven't even talked about that. The Greatest Showman soundtrack.
Right.
Retarded.
We haven't talked about her and the whole thing. Okay. I say all of this to say, what's one advice from an artist to an artist that you would give to somebody who may be watching this right now, right? And who will know the history that you've had between celebrities and church and everything. But what advice would you give to somebody right now that's saying, in this day and age, how can I become that? You know, or maintain something like
Right.
that. Yeah.
Your work ethic has to be above and beyond what people expect. Your character, how you carry yourself, your integrity with how you do your work is like, are you gonna, do you stand behind what you do? Do you are you confident that you can, like because I'll give you an example. My sister said when I had my very first professional studio gig, I was 18. And I was nervous about it. And she was like, you already have 15 years in of singing and you know how to take instruction. So you're already ahead of the game.
Yeah.
I'd been singing in choir since I was 3 at that point. And I had 15 years in of singing. And I was directing my church choir at the time. So I knew how to do parts and take instruction and listen to vocal inflections and how you wanted me dynamically to sing it and make it small, make it big, make it rounder, make it sweeter, make it softer, you know, all of that stuff. So I already had that going for me. So I was like, oh, I know how to do this. Okay. And then being able to be teachable. Still being able to be teachable.
That's
Still.
important.
Like still at how these grays are not highlights.
And they look good.
Thank you, baby.
They look all right.
I got the auntie hair now, so you know. You know, still remaining teachable in any circumstance that you're in, because there's always a more efficient, better way to get things done. And the process that we came up with, that I came up with, or the people in my generation came up with, there's a better way to get it done. And there's always somebody that can teach you, and it could be, and it's more than likely going to be somebody younger than you. So don't be, well, I'm the senior, and no, somebody may have a better way.
Absolutely.
You know, so always be teachable. Get a passport.
Let's talk about that.
That's important.
Yeah,
That's very important.
definitely get a passport.
Because you could have the skill set, you could have the talent, you could have the integrity, you could have the character. You ain't got the paperwork, you're not going nowhere.
Exactly. Will you be ready when the opportunity?
And I
Huh?
tell people that all the time.
Will you be ready with
I'm gonna get right behind you quick, real quick.
Yeah, but it's very important to have that stuff lined up, because I know there were There were people in the 90s. They were like, yeah, I could go on the gig. And they get to the airport, literally get to the other country. They're like, you don't have paperwork?
Mm-hmm.
Get on the next flight going back home.
It's the truth. Like I've told people that before. Like people see you before they hear you, and I know a bunch of singers that can definitely sing circles around me. But I think what always allows me to get certain opportunities is when it comes to that paperwork.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've learned. Like just everything behind the scenes stuff has always
Your
been
business got to be in order.
Yeah.
And I know there's a lot of people, like, they call it the 27 Club, the ones that burned out early because they started to believe the hype and or get into the accoutrement of what is offered to you in those situations, and it took them out. Like Amy Winehouse, 27, guitar, help me, Seattle.
Ooh,
Jimi Hendrix, 27. Janis Joplin, 27. They burned so bright so fast.
Yeah.
And they burned out. They got taken out because I think that whatever they had was so overwhelming, and then also what was given to them, because I've been at parties where stuff is offered to you on platters, anywhere from substances to bodies.
Absolutely.
Oh, go in that room. They got what you like in there. I was like, nah, I'm going to the room. I'm skip the after party.
Yeah, I'm out at Shirley Temple.
Right. And then don't bring me one. Don't bring me one. I'll go get it myself. I'll watch them make it. Yeah. Yep. So it's about guarding what you know that what is God given, and walking in that integrity of that, and having don't be just so creative that you're not business savvy. I'm not telling you got to be a CPA. I'm not telling you got to be an accountant. I'm not telling you got to be an attorney, but you got to know some of the lingo so that you don't get taken advantage of.
That's good.
Especially with songwriters and producers and publishing and stuff like that. You got to know at least the basics so that you don't, because I've gotten got because I was like, okay, just not thinking about it. But thank God takes care of you. And now years later, I every Christmas comes to me in May.
And man, all I want for Christmas is you.
And everything else that I've recorded on, it gets tallied up.
Yeah.
So it's not just the Christmas stuff; it's all the other stuff that
just continuously compounds.
Yeah. You know, unfortunately, some writing situations, because I don't understand why people don't realize that arranging is a part of the creative process, and that's a part of the writing. I just let it go. I did a lot of arrangements that I never got credit for.
Right.
And the artist or the somebody that wrote the lyrics, they took credit for it. I'm like, could have done that without me. I know it.
Yeah.
I know what it is. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I know that God will take care of me at the end of it. But get what you're supposed to get. You only get what you negotiate.
Yep.
You only get what you negotiate.
You only get. I just had to say that again. You only get what you negotiate.
And if you don't tell them what you need, it's never going to be a conversation. And even if, and then as a woman in the industry, as a black woman in the industry, it gets brushed over even worse. So it's like, and then you get labeled the bitch. Because you're being forthright. Was like, no, this is what I need. This is what I need to execute.
The minute you speak up. Yep.
Yeah, you become. But y'all guys get a little bit of a pass, even though you're black men. But y'all get a little bit of a pass because it's the machismo thing. And they're like, well, maybe we can negotiate.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. So, and I got to do it with honey. Girls have to do it with honey. It's like, no, baby, I think this is what I need.
Oh, you'll get me every time. Melonie, you just got me. I'm about to go, what you need? You need IP too? Okay.
Yeah, but it's about how, I mean, I only use my powers for good, so... You know, that there are certain things that we can, I'm not being manipulative, but I'm just telling you what I need and what I want. And I'm going to do it in a way that's going to be complimentary to you so you understand that's what I need. I'm never going to be brash, and I'm never going to be like rah with it, you know.
Gotcha.
I'm going to use my powers for good, but I'm going to get what I need.
Man, listen. Look, we can go on and on and on and on.
About your word.
About your word. But like, you know, just the nuggets, and we definitely got to have you back.
Oh,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Thank you
Like
so
I said,
much.
And all our guests, we gotta bring
And all our
everybody.
guests, you're
back,
right.
I'm on the
man.
other
It's been
side of the
dope.
park. I'm good.
There you go.
Hey.
You know, and for you guys out there, you know, watching and listening, we want to thank y'all also for taking your time
Thank
and spending
you.
it here
Yeah.
with us here. You can replay all of this over and over,
Right.
and you will be successful if you follow these little nuggets, guys. And this is what the Artist for Artist podcast is about. So once again, thank you, Melonie, for coming.
Thank you,
This
man.
Thank
is CJ
you.
Michael. We got
Boy,
Henny,
Henny.
and we got James.
Oh, yeah.
We have to say his name for him.
That's so ugly. So if you want to follow me to see what I'm doing, just go on.
Just
It's
do it.
on all social media. I am Melonie Daniels, Melonie Daniels.
We'll make sure the information's there right here on
Yes,
the screen
sir.
too.
Yeah, we'll
so.
drop it all for you guys.
Yeah,
We'll miss a beat.
Mel, thank you so
Thank you
much for
much,
being
man.
here.
I love you.
Peace,
Thank you,
love, and I'm not going to say nappiness.
Don't
Why
say
not?
happiness.
Because James wasn't going to let me. See, look, I told you.
Good
look.
night.
Good night.
Thank you for listening to the
Artist for Artist
podcast, where we as artists offer an immersive experience through real-life storytelling and views on the music and media industry. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast and follow us on social media for updates and additional content at Artist for Artist Podcast. And we'll see you next time on Artist for Artist Podcast. No cap.